Hello and welcome to this edition of Monday Momentum. As you probably already know, my name is Laurie McNaughton and I am your Scale Up Biz Coach. Today's topic is I think, a great topic for business owners to think about, and that is cause and effect. Everything that you see in your business is caused by something. And so, when people say, why would I hire a business coach to come in and help me? I've been doing this for 5, 10, 20 years. Why would I hire a business coach? And I said, why would you? That's a great question. So here's the thing, I come in from an outsider's perspective. I don't come with indoctrinated, if I could call it that, into the dogma of the way that your business runs today. Those people that are working for you and in with you, they're stuck in this dogma of how your company operates. And I'm not coming in there to try to tell you how to sell more widgets or to build more fences or side more homes or insulate more homes or build more homes or drywall more. I'm not here to tell you how to do that, although part of what we are going to do if we decide to work together could be around how do we generate more qualified leads, how do we convert more of them into high quality customers, and how do we maximize the value of each customer that we have so that we maximize the revenue and the profits inside the organization. But the first thing I want to understand is, why are you where you're at? So first questions I ask are, tell me about your business. Tell me more about, when you started it, why you started it. Where are you at today, and where do you want to be tomorrow? And what are the challenges that you're experiencing? What are the barriers or obstacles or, limiting beliefs that you have that are keeping you stuck where you're at right now? Whether you feel like you're stuck, my guess is that most people in some way, shape, or form are stuck. They're either stuck completely and going backwards, or they're stuck and they're just incrementally moving forward. And what I want to do as your coach is to speed that whole process up so that you get a big, massive return on investment, and you also start having a whole lot more fun. So, I start talking. When did you start your business? Why is this important to you? Where are you at today? Where do you want to be? What do you see that's holding you back? And then I want to start to understand, because they'll say, well, I'm just, working way too many hours already and I'm getting burned out. The profitability isn't where it needs to be. I made more money when it was just me and a smaller team. And I'm getting burned out by that. And the profit, like I said, the profits are low in the company. And maybe I have a team of people that just doesn't seem to be as engaged as they need to be in order for us to succeed. So what I'm doing now is I'm asking questions to determine what the cause is. Because, if you're working too many hours, or you're not as profitable as you should be, or your team is dysfunctional, those are mere symptoms of a problem. If you went to the doctor and then you said, hey, doctor, I got a sore stomach, and he just wrote you out a prescription, didn't ask you another question, and said, here, take these and call me in a month, you'd probably, at least I hope you wouldn't, take those medications, because God only knows what they're for. So what do they call that? Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. So I think about that when I'm talking to business owners. I want to understand what your causes are so that I can help you find solutions to those so that you can move forward quicker and faster and get a bigger return on your investment. And so if you're, say, for instance, if your company isn't as profitable as it should be, and typically early on in a relationship with a company, I'll take a look at their books and I'll get a pretty good understanding of where they're at financially in terms of revenue, gross profit, expenses, and net profit. And then I want to start asking questions. So tell me more about how you price your stuff out, because it could be just as simple as you're not charging enough. It could be something as simple as you think that in order to get the sale, I need to be at this price. Well, let me just say this. you don't want the market dictating. I mean, you do in a way want the market to dictate what you can charge, because if you look at it from this perspective, there's they say 86% of people will pay more if they're getting added value out of it, and so you want to be up at the top of what that market can avail to you. So I want to ask questions again, like I said, to understand why it's not profitable, and it could be, like I said, you're not charging enough, or it could be it's taking too long to complete every project. So you allot 10 hours and it takes 12 hours in every project. Or it could be, I thought that the material costs were going to be X and they're much more than X. And so, I want to ask questions around that so I can understand, uh, a better way of doing that so that you can make sure that you're charging enough and maximizing that profitability. Now, we talked a little bit about, so your company's not profitable, it's probably going to suck you back into working too many hours in your business. And so, we got to look at that, because if your team isn't delivering and getting things done productively and efficiently, then it's going to eat away at the profits. And that's what's left after everything's paid for. I'm talking about net profit, not gross profit. And so, it could be that, like I said, it could be, as I said, you're not charging enough. Maybe you're using markup instead of margin, so you don't really understand what it's costing you to complete the service or sell the widgets. It could be that your cost of goods sold is too high. So, if you look at your financial statement, you have revenue, and then you have your cost of goods sold, which is your variable cost inside your business. Maybe it's higher than it should be. So we're going to look at strategies and how we can lower that cost of goods sold. And then we're going to look at all of your expenses and figure out where you're at from an expense standpoint. So are your expenses grown well beyond your ability to create revenue and profit? And then again, so if you have a dysfunctional team, it's also going to suck you back into the business, meaning you're going to be micromanaging things, or you're going to be, going out to job sites. I'm just thinking of one particular guy that I worked with. Actually, there's many people that I've worked with that had a similar kind of thing. They didn't trust their team, so they were on every job site, weekends, weekdays, everything. So they're trying to do everything in the business, trying to wear every hat in the business, and that's just a recipe for burnout. And so, I ask questions about, again, how do they price out their stuff? But then I also want to ask questions about, tell me about your team. So, tell me about your hiring process. Tell me about your onboarding process. Tell me about your, continuous training. Tell me about your accountability systems. Tell me about, your leadership and your communication in your company. Because all of that could theoretically be sucking up your time, and I need to understand what it is, because we can, put systems and processes into place that are going to alleviate that pressure, and allow you a lot more freedom. Like, it is not unfamiliar for many of my clients to take 10, 15, 20 hours a week or more. If you're working 60, 70 hours a week, we want to get you down. The first thing we want to do is get you down to a regular work week. So if you're working 70 hours a week, we need to get 30 hours back. And the only way you're going to get 30 hours back is through systems and processes and building an amazing team. Because here's the thing, and I've said this before, a company is a series of systems and processes that are run by a team. And you, being the owner of the company, you're the leadership of that team. So, long story short, I want to ask a bunch of questions so I can understand what the cause is, and then I can share with you what the solutions are. And if there's a high enough return on investment, then we can look at working together and creating a program that works for you and helps you build this business that you deserve to have. If you're entrepreneur and a business owner, like, man, you're putting yourself out there. You're taking a risk that so many people are not willing to take, and because of that, you know, and plus, here's the thing: you're helping other people because all these people that are employed by you are making a wage, and so um, you're doing something quite extraordinary that most people literally cannot do, would not do. So let's just move along here a little bit because I do want to share more. I want to share some questions that you can ask yourself that'll get you to dive in a little bit deeper and understand where you're struggling and what you can do about it. So, as I talked about cause and effect, so you got to ask yourself what needs to change, and you got to be honest with yourself. Don't BS yourself. That doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anybody. If the result isn't what you want, you have to look at what the input is. And I always say, I'm a kind of an in-your-face business coach. What I mean by in-your-face, I'm very respectful. But here's the thing: how your business is running is a direct reflection of how you are, not how your business is. It's the solution to your challenges is not out there. It's in here. It's in here. You need to, once you accept that you have to take ownership and you're accountable and responsible for the success of this, now you can start to move forward. So, as I talked about, poor profits, working too many hours, and a dysfunctional team are mere symptoms of challenges that you're having. Now, stress and anxiety, fear and doubt, shame, guilt, anger, frustration, resentment, regret, helplessness, hopelessness, dread, or lack, meaning you don't have enough, are again symptoms likely caused by a company that has poor profits, where you're working too much and feeling burnt out, and you have a dysfunctional team. So those are, again, symptoms. I don't know that I've ever met a business owner that wasn't under some stress and anxiety, but there's a big difference between stress and anxiety. And I want to make this point because stress is good for you because it pushes you to learn more. And you need to learn more in order to build a successful, profitable business that even works when you're on vacation. In fact, it's growing when you're on vacation. Now, some of the things that can get you stopped is this fear and doubt. Oh, what if I do this and I don't, and it doesn't work? All this stuff, all these limiting beliefs that have you that keep you stuck. And fear creates doubt, right? So anger, frustration, or probably shame and guilt, it might be just like you feel kind of shameful because you feel like, oh, I should know this. I should know this. You know, here's the thing I'd say about shame and feeling guilty about things is something I learned watching and listening and pardon me, reading from some material books from Brene Brown. She talks about if you're going to be courageous, you're going to have to be vulnerable. So that means that you got to admit that you're not a machine and that you don't know everything. In fact, you shouldn't even pretend to know everything. You shouldn't get into this like, I need to win all the time. In fact, you got to win as a team, not as an individual. So allowing yourself to go, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put myself out here, which is what you did when you started your business. You put yourself out there. You're taking a chance. You're taking a risk. That makes you vulnerable. It takes courage to do that. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And then anger and frustration could be anger at other people and frustration with other people. It could be anger and frustration at yourself. Neither of those are the cause, though. And then resentment and regrets. We don't. What do they say about regrets weigh a ton? I can't remember the exact quote. Maybe it'll come to me before I'm done here. But resenting other people's success. First of all, celebrate other people's success because it puts you in a different frame of mind where you're going, I just want to be just like that versus, why is this person successful and I'm not? They're no smarter than I am and they're way more successful, or at least on the surface, it appears that they're more successful. Then feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. Again, these are just not supportive emotions. And dread, if you feel like you're dreading going to work, or like you said, lack meaning lack of profits, lack of time, lack of whatever. These again, they're all just symptoms. So here's what we want more of. We want more love and gratitude. Here's the thing. I want to just make this point while I'm here. I got to watch my time here, and that is, love makes the world go around. Love is the highest level of vibration that you can experience in your life. And love and gratitude are connected. Grateful for the fact that we were born in this country, grateful for the fact that we have homes and offices and businesses, and grateful for the fact that we drink clean water and we don't go hungry and we have a warm bed to sleep in. All of those things are just small little things, but you have to come from this place of gratitude, and it creates another level of love inside you. And that love, you want that to radiate, because you want the people who are certainly in your family, and those people who work for you, to feel that happiness and joy, health and wealth, and confidence and courage. Again, these are all emotions, but they're symptoms of things that are going well. Like if you have a commercial, profitable business that is growing and thriving, even when you're on vacation, spending time with the people that you love the most, and knowing that you have this great team of people back there that are taking care of things so that you can go and have fun and relax, it just creates another level of gratitude and love, happiness, and joy. You're having fun. And the health and wealth. Like here's the thing: stress, chronic stress and chronic anxiety is going to whittle away at your health. You might think today that you can deal with this, but over a lifetime, it's going to whittle away at your health and cause all kinds of premature health issues. And then, like I said, confidence and courage. You have the confidence and the courage to take on the challenges and believe in yourself. Believe in the people the chosen people you chose to work with. So the principle of cause and effect is every effect has a cause. Every reaction has an action. So you do this, something happens. You do this, you don't make a lot of money. You do this, you make more money. So business success is not random. It's really the result of actions that you're taking and making the right choices and habits. So businesses, the things in a business is, I'm going to call them systems and processes, but they're habits. Now, if you're not getting the results you want, something must change. And that change begins with you. It doesn't begin with your team. There may be some changes that need to be made with your team. Certainly is going to need to be changes with your systems and processes, leadership, communication, meetings, training, all that stuff. But that change begins with you. So, and you've heard this before, and sanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So what are the current results that you're getting that are frustrating or overwhelming? Think about that. Like, okay, you know what? I am frustrated with my team. I am frustrated with how much I'm working. I am frustrated with the profit levels in our company. Be frank and open with yourself, because now we can start to move forward towards solutions. So identify the input. I talked a little bit about that up front. Again, if your business isn't profitable, that is a symptom. So you got to identify what the inputs are. So again, buying stuff at the wrong price, selling stuff at the wrong price, having a team that takes too long to do the work that they do, or having a slow turnover of inventory. These are part of the reasons why you may not be profitable. It's not the only reasons, but it's part of the reasons why. If it's revenue is flat, what is my marketing doing? What is the sales doing? What's our conversion rate? If you have 100 people inquire or walk through your door of your business and 10 people buy, that's a 10% conversion rate. You want to know what these numbers are, because then when you change things, because you want a healthy conversion rate, you'd like to have 30%, 40%, maybe even in some instances higher conversion rate. So if your team morale is low, what's your leadership like? What's the communication like? Or do people feel like they're accomplishing things? Do people feel appreciated for what they're doing? I got 10 minutes here to get through the rest of this. So, if clients are disengaged, how do you communicate with them that re-engages them? So here's a real powerful question to ask. What am I doing, saying, thinking, or allowing? What am I doing, saying, thinking, or allowing that is contributing to this result? So rewire the action. You want a different reaction, change the action. Small shifts in behavior create powerful ripples. Like you think about it, you drop a pebble into a lake, it creates small ripples. You drop a stone, creates bigger ripples. You drop a big rock, much bigger ripples. So, start with what you can control, which is, if you're thinking about communication, it's time, or pardon me, your tone, how you talk to your team. If you find that they're not responding well, it may be related to your tone. It could be related to your body language. But also thinking about the timing of how you do things and the energy that you bring to your organization. And then what are the expectations you have for your team? So here's another powerful question. What have I been resisting changing that could really shift everything? So, you know, write it down. Write it down. What have I been resisting changing? Now take radical ownership. Own the cause, create a new effect. Blame creates powerlessness. Ownership creates possibility. You are not at the mercy of the results. You are the architect of your results. Remember that. So another powerful question to ask is, what would full ownership look like for me this week? Now you're starting to narrow that focus down. What would full ownership look like for me this week? What would I need to do? So this week's challenge uh, is, make one intentional shift. Choose one area in your business where the results aren't what you want. Choose one area in your business where the results aren't what you want. Make an intentional change in your own behavior, your communication, and or process, and then observe the shifts that come with that outcome. So typically, if you happen to be live with us, we would have some open discussion. What results do I want most to change? What part of the cause am I willing to take responsibility for? What small shift will I commit to making this week? One of them is, you may want to commit to coming to Monday Momentum, and or you may want to book a 30-minute discovery call with me. So if you have a company that's typically in the service, some kind of service industry, whether that's construction, manufacturing, wholesale distributorships, engineering, all of those kinds of companies, you have a team of at least 5 people up to around 50, and it's not a dead, if you have 51, I can't work with you type thing. I'm going to put links into the description here. So there's going to be a link for Monday Momentum. Click on that and come to our Monday Momentums. It's just generally speaking designed to give you a little bit of, I'm excited about coming to work, or excited about the week, getting you started on a positive foot. And then the 30-minute discovery call, I'm just going to dig down, ask a few questions, learn a little bit more about you, learn a little bit more about your business. And if we both feel like, hey, you know what, there's some synergy between the two of us, I like the way that you communicate, I like the ideas that you have, then we'll book a full-on complimentary coaching session, which will last for about an hour and a half, where again, I'll go into full-on understanding where the challenges are, and I'll talk very specifically about the systems and solutions to those challenges that you have. And if we all agree we got great synergy, we can communicate well with each other, you believe in what I'm telling you about what the solutions are to your challenges, and we know that there's a good return on your investment, whether that's getting 10 or 15 or 20 hours or 30 hours a week back, and also adding points onto the bottom line, the net profit, not the gross profit, although that's part of the process. But I want to see you making a healthy net profit inside your company. I want you to have a great team of people working with you who help you succeed at the highest level. I want you to be able to take weekends off. I want you to work regular work week, regular work week, and I want you to take nice, long, peaceful vacations. So I'll put those links into the description. If you're interested in having a call with me, just click on the link to the booking a call, and we'll do that first discovery. Takes it will take less than 30 minutes, but I really want to know where you're at, where you want to be, what's holding you back. I want to learn more about what your beliefs are, and I want to know more about what your commitment to success is, and what your commitment is to doing whatever it takes to succeed at the highest level. So, thanks for listening. As I said, you may want to join us for Monday Momentum, or you may want to book a complimentary discovery call, and then we'll go from there. So until then, I wish you nothing but success and look forward. I got a lot of videos on YouTube here. Feel free to peruse them, like them, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I keep forgetting to talk about that. They keep telling me, remember to tell everybody to like your videos and subscribe. So please do that. It helps me, and it means a lot to me. I want to have a bigger impact. I want to work with a lot of business owners, and I've created some new programs so that I can deal with multiple people at one time. So, anyways, I'm just looking to have a lot of fun and help some people and build an amazing business. Take care, and until we chat, have fun. Take care.